welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am Julie Bean and I am here live at Art Beads, and I am live today. I have been on holiday, so I had a few shows where I wasn't live, but now I am. So it is Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific here in February. This weekend is going to be Valentine's Day, so I've got my little heart earrings on, getting ready for a nice and relaxed Valentine's Day at my house. And I see Thaisa is here in the background helping us. Hello, Thaisa. And Laura, hello. Thank you, Chris. Debbie, hello. Gina, thank you, guys. Tracy. We had so much fun. So we went to Hawaii to celebrate my husband's birthday. So we took the kids and we met friends there, and it was just great. We went snorkeling, time at the beach. It was so much fun. So we took a bit of an extended little holiday there and celebrated his birthday up properly. So that was good. And he's usually always sick on his birthday. That's just his life, but he wasn't this time, so he got to enjoy. So we were very grateful for that. Hello, Marianne and Monique. Hello, Edna. Francie, hello. I have missed everybody. Oh my gosh, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Myra, hello, and Sue and Tanya and Oma. Hi, Oma. And Debbie. Okay, hello BJ and Susan J from Seattle. Oh my goodness, so part of the, some of our friends who flew into Hawaii to meet us for his birthday, they're from Seattle. And so they said flying back, because we flew back on Super Bowl Sunday, and they said there was smoke everywhere from the fireworks with the Super Bowl. So I hope you had a good time there, Susan. Hello, Kathleen. Oh my goodness, Janet, hello. And Bobby, hi Bobby. And Jane from Long Island, hello. Oh, Jane, his birthday was one day off of yours. His was the 5th. So we flew in the day before, and then we spent his birthday there, and then we came home late Sunday night. Hello, Marianne. And Diane, hello. Warm and sunny in Tucson. I'm jealous. We are dark and cloudy, and I think we have a winter storm coming next week. So Los Angeles is having some very un-California-like weather for us. It's very cold out there, actually. Hello, Julia as well, and Diane and Amy. It is really good to be back. I always prefer to do these live whenever I can. So I always try not to be gone, but this was a special occasion. But today I thought it'd be really fun to get back into the swing of things with a warm copper memory wire bracelet, but we're also going to talk about memory wire frequently asked questions. And for the first time, I think during a live, I actually have the 3 sizes of memory wire bracelet wire available to show everyone. So we can do a size comparison. We can talk about that. We could talk about necklace memory wire, ring memory wire, flat memory wire, the difference between memory wire, beading wire, and regular wire. And we're also going to make a bracelet. So we have a pretty full live show today. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you are here on Art Beads, I can read them. Thaisa can and Michelle can. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, pop on over here to Art Beads so you can join in the conversation, because not only does it let you ask questions and get answers, but you get to be part of an amazing community if you're over here on Art Beads. So we are going, oh, Jane, we did not bring Twix, but we hired a lovely sitter who came in every day and played with her and cuddled her and sent us pictures of her. So that actually helped to relieve my anxiety of leaving that little girl to see daily pictures and updates of her. And it was just a lovely gal who came in. So we were very fortunate. And she is sleeping right now. I can't really, let me see. Can you guys see? There she is. She's sleeping. So we'll see if she joins us. She might. All right, I'm gonna flip my camera down pretty fast here because we have a lot to cover. And again, put the questions there in the comments. The floaty hearts, let me know you like what you see. So as we start to design the bracelet, you can give floaty hearts, and that will let me see like there's a general consensus that we like the direction we're going in, or we don't like the direction we're going in. And then if you want to know about any of the beads or the wire, it's there in the shopping bag, which is great. So that's a nice little resource. And then what else do I have to share? I think that's it. Oh, you can share it. There's a little share icon. All right, it'll take me a few minutes to get back into the swing of it, but here we go. I'm going to flip this down, and it is very dark out there today for us. And here's what I was talking about, where I actually have the different sizes of memory wire to show. So that was exciting that I was able to find those because I didn't think I had all of them. So what I want to do is, first off, if anyone is unfamiliar with memory wire, I think it's pretty popular, but you never know if someone has not seen it before. So this here is a finished memory wire bracelet. We did this a couple months ago in one of the lives. And memory wire is great because it's not necessarily one size fits all, but it is one size fits most. And so if you do the medium memory wire, which is this one right here, which is 2.25 inches, then this will generally fit most wrists. Now, if you have a particularly small wrist, you can get the small size memory wire. Or if you have a little bit larger wrist, you can get the large size. So I'll talk about all of those again in a minute here. Let me move my chair out of the way so I have a little more room back here. I think I've shared this before. I tend to stand when I do these because I can just see the comments so much better. I know, me too, Moni. I love memory wire. So this here is the essence of kind of a memory wire bracelet. It's this cool coil that retains its shape. So what you can do is you can loop it onto your wrist and it doesn't bend out of shape. And it's really comfortable to wear. Creates a really cool stacked design. And it's just really easy and comfortable. You're not having to fiddle with a clasp or anything like that. And you can make them just a couple, like a 1.5 rounds. You can make them 3 rounds. It usually is sold as a coil of 12. So you can have a lot more layers if you want, or you can keep it a little bit on the shorter side. So I want to show a finished example just to begin with. Now, when you're looking at beading, you have 3 things, which are all called wire. So here is your beading wire, and this is used to make strung bracelets like this here with crimp tubes or crimp beads. So this is your beading wire. Just a quick little showcase of the different types of wire. Here is more of like your traditional wire wrapping wire or craft wire. And you see that when you bend this, it's very easy to bend, to crimp, all of that. So here's that type of wire. And then memory wire is this really strong wire that you really can't, it would take a good effort to make that kink. So it's really great in that it retains its shape. And then it does come in multiple sizes. So let's look at this because we've never had this opportunity before to show it. So here is the small size. You can see what this looks like on my hand. And I think I missed a comment a couple comments ago. I'll try to review it. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry, Carolyn. Sending hugs your way for sure. Okay. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you. Well, I wanted to definitely do the shows. I just also needed to be away with the family. And it was fun to be there with the kids too. So here is the small size. Now this is a 2-inch diameter. The medium is just a little bit more. It's a 2.25, and the large is a 2.5. So if you want to see these side by side, here is a small versus a large, and then here is a small versus a medium. So just a little bit of a difference here. And then what we get into is also necklace memory wire. And this here actually came as a set. So you can buy these assorted packs as well. So this is a necklace memory wire. It works the exact same way, but it's for a necklace and it stretches out. So it becomes more of like a choker necklace because it still is a pretty tight circle, but it will stretch out. Yeah, it is kind of like a slinky. I agree. I know, if you look at it like this, it definitely looks like a slinky for sure. And kind of we do this motion when we're getting the beads down onto it. That feels very slinky-like as well. So here is what necklace memory wire looks like. And I think Deb has done a show or 2 on it before as well. And she's really great at creating memory wire necklaces. And then this is ring memory wire. So it even is available for rings as well. And you get a ton of coils if you look at this. And I have done wine charms with this before. So you can think outside the box. You can make ornaments, you can make sun catchers, you can make wine charms, napkin rings, all sorts of different things with memory wire. And it very much is like a slinky. Like that's exactly what this looks like. All right, so those are the different sizes. And then there's a couple different finishing techniques that I just want to show real quick before we start designing. Oh, and then we should show there's round memory wire and flat memory wire. So this is a nice side-by-side as well. So the memory wire that I think most of us use and think of when we say the term memory wire is round memory wire. It is a round wire, but there is also flat memory wire. And this one you don't usually get beads onto unless they're a larger hold bead, but you can wire wrap it, which is really neat. So this is a different entity, but it's the same principle. That's a really hard wire that retains its shape, but I like to wire wrap onto these guys. All right, so let's begin with our project for today. I am going to bring out the medium memory wire. It's the one that I like to use. Make Twix a toy. I love that. Hello, Daisy. We're just going over some of the basics of memory wire and talking about the different sizes, what is memory wire, and now we're going to make a bracelet. Okay, so first off, when you're going to do a memory wire project, you have to decide how you want to finish it. And there's a couple different ways. My favorite, personally, is to turn the end. So you make a little loop. And you can do that with round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, or specialty memory wire finishing pliers. So you have your option. I think these are sold out right now, but we're going to be getting more in. But you can also use round nose. You can use a bail making plier. You can use your chain nose. Or you can put a finial bead or a memory wire end cap onto your memory wire. And you would glue this before you start your beading. So you would plan ahead. You wouldn't just be able to sit down and just start beading. You'd have to do this like the day before. And this is what finial beads are. And they come in a whole array of really gorgeous colors. And you get a ton of them. And then let me show you what they look like. They are little half-drilled balls, little half-drilled beads. So that hole only goes halfway through, so you end up with basically a round bead on the end, and you can use GS Hypo Cement or E6000 to glue these guys on. The one thing I do want to caution though is you need to make sure it's fully dry before you work with it. So I would let it dry overnight. So that's, just let it dry overnight and then have fun beading the next day. And then you'd finish this end as well. But that's a different look where you're not creating that little loop. So you do have some options on how you want to finish your memory wire projects. All right, so I'm going to finish it. Hello, Ellen. Oh, Rosetta, that's good to hear for sure. Okay, I'm going to take the little finishing pliers. I've come to really like these, but you can definitely use a chain nose or a round nose. So my best tip, Ruth Alice, for getting these to be secure is I put a little bit of glue. So I've done this in a previous show, so maybe Thais or Michelle can show it. I make like a little pad with Play-Doh or clay. I set my little finial bead down into it, going upright, so the hole is facing up. And then I put a little bit of glue on my memory wire, E6000 or GS Hypo. And then I stick that down into the bead. I let it dry, but then what I do is after it's dry, I go back with another dab of glue. So I'm kind of double gluing it just so that I don't worry that's going to come off. So I let it fully dry, and then I do a reinforcing dab of glue right on the join. So that's how I like to do it, just so that it doesn't come off. But I'm with you. It is kind of worrisome that they're going to come off because they are a little half-drilled bead. So I am pretty generous with my gluing. So hopefully that helps anyone who's ever struggled with these guys coming off. So the finishing pliers are something we carry. I do believe we're out of stock right now. These are nice though because they have a couple different sizes. So you get a large or a small, and I'm going to show you how they work because they should be back in stock soon. So what you can do is just as if you were going to turn the end with a round nose plier, you would turn the end with the finishing pliers. And so you just grab the end and you turn it, and you turn it away from your wrist. So you don't want it going in, but you can also turn it up. So as long as it's just not going to poke your skin, you're okay to turn it out or turn it up. Kathleen, I love that comment. Well, Play-Doh works really well. It's such a nice, inexpensive little trick to be able to set those finial beads. I really like it. All right, so this is going to be what we're going to be working with. And I don't know at this point how long it's going to be. So I'm not going to pre-cut this. So I'm going to let it be the entire length. Hi, Lori. And then these are the beads. And they all started, all my bead color palette for today started with these 3 strands. I love them. There's a teal, an olive, and a really pretty purple. And so the purples are rondelle, which is just so pretty. And then I've got a couple rounds. And what I did is I just built it out from there. So I just started adding colors that I thought would look really pretty together with these. So I've got some pretty little hex beads. This is a marbled opaque turquoise bead right here, a Toho round. This is a little assortment. And it was just so much fun to kind of go trick-or-treating through my bead boxes, finding colors that went with these 3 strands right here. Yes, I could definitely do matching earrings. I thought that might happen, so I did bring out some earring hooks as well, just in case. So I've got an assortment of just really pretty beads that I think will complement it well. Even these guys here, these are demi rounds. These are a 6/0 demi, and I thought that complemented that rondelle really nicely. And then, just because I have them, and I thought, well, that could be really fun, I brought out butterfly beads, and I want to try putting these new butterfly beads onto the memory wire. So I want to mix seed beads, hex beads, demi rounds, these cool strands, and then I want to do something with the butterfly beads. And I have a couple different sizes and a couple different colors. So this one here is metallic amethyst chalk, which is so pretty. And then I have this one, which is Apollo gold, but I thought it would match really well the copper. So that will bring us more of a coppery look to it. So I definitely think I want to use this. And then I've got a green and a blue that we might use. And then I also have this one here, which is transparent amethyst. So we have lots of different choices. You know what, Valerie? I was thinking that too. And I thought, well, this is the perfect month for that. Maybe that's what I was channeling when I pulled these colors, because they were just really calling to me. I was like, I have to use these as a combination in a project. All right, so I'm going to spill out some of the beads just so we have all of our play materials here. I think I want to use these hex because they're a really interesting shape. Oh, thank you. Michelle is saying that she has confirmation that we will be restocking the finishing pliers. That is definitely good news. Okay, here's the demis. And if anybody has a memory wire question as we're doing this, please feel free to post it there in the comments. I do apologize. I have a little bit of the sniffles today, so my voice here is not quite perfect, but that happens sometimes when you're traveling. I'm going to break all of these open, and that way we'll have all of our goodies to play with all in one spot. And I love these round beads. My husband, he took our son, our older son, zip lining, and it was so great to see the pictures. I ended up staying back with the little one because he was a little too young. But oh, it was so fun to, like, when you see your kids starting to grow up and you see them doing more adult things and being really brave. It's just such a great feeling as a parent. It was just one of my highlights of my trip was just seeing my son growing up. All right, I'm going to open up the butterfly beads. This is the smaller size. I think I want to use this pretty color here. I think that will accent very well. If you're not familiar with what a butterfly bead is, it's really neat. Almost looks like a little bow tie or a little hair bow, or a butterfly, like its, like its name suggests, but they interlock together like you see here. That I think we can get this locking action to happen on memory wire as well. So I think that's going to be really neat looking. So I have the small and the large. And then, does anyone have, oh, let's do this. We should really do the coppery color. We went to Oahu. So we were on We were staying down in Honolulu because we had friends fly over from Vermont and Seattle to hang out with us and my husband for his birthday. So that was definitely the easiest island for everybody to get to. It was so much fun. So I'm just going to keep here. And so I like this turquoise bead as well. I think it's a really pretty bead. I've used it a lot for a lot of different projects. It's kind of a good basic. All right, how is our color palette looking? Do you guys think we're missing anything? Oh, maybe I'll pull this out. I'm going to pull this one out too. All right. Yes. Okay, how does that look for a color palette? Oh, I see a bunch of hearts. Okay, let's go for it. So this is, of course, the joy of memory wire is you get to just play. You don't have to worry about technique. You don't have to worry about, a pattern that you're following. You just get to have fun. So I'm going to just start up here. So you uncoil it if someone's not familiar with this. And you just uncoil it so you end up with the end. Now, if you know you're going to do a shorter bracelet, it is easier to pre-cut it. So you could definitely pre-cut this down like in half and easily make 2 bracelets out of it. But we're going to just start, and I think I want to start with a hex. And then let's go ahead and do a demi, and I'll probably do a repeating pattern here. So I have a little hex bead, I have a demi, and then let's put on a little seed bead. Seed beads are great for memory wire. And then let's go ahead. I want to get one of those butterfly beads on. So if you look at how the butterfly beads are shaped, I feel like to get them to be tight on your memory wire, you're going to want to surround them by a little 11-0 seed bead. And that's because if we look at this up close, you want the seed bead to go into that little well on the side. Because if you have a bigger bead, you might have a little bit more movement on here, and these aren't going to lock into place. So I think we want to make sure that we have a nice little seed bead that's pushing up against that little divot of the butterfly bead. And this is the large size. I don't know if I want to do large or small. We can try large. Let's see what maybe 3 of these might look like, and then maybe we'll adjust. So that is what 3 butterfly beads look like on here. It's kind of cool, right? It just creates a really interesting shape. So then let's surround it with another little 11-0 seed bead so that we can keep that locked in place. And I'm having a feeling that by the time we shimmy this all down, at the very end, we're going to have to pay a little more attention than we normally pay, that all of our beads are tight together, because I do feel like these will, when we shimmy it down, they're going to come apart. See, they're not going to stay in that locked position. So we'll have to make sure we kind of fix them up at the end. So let's start with that little sequence of the butterfly beads. And then I do actually like the little turquoise and the demi, lots of fun shapes here. And then the hex, and then let's add one of our bigger beads. So let's add one of these pretty olive beads. So this is what we've got thus far. It's just gonna be a really colorful bracelet. And what we can do, we can make like a little sequence here if we wanted to. We could do an olive bead followed by a rondelle, followed by one of these turquoise ones. And this could be a little sequence right here, which looks neat. And then I do wanna add this color of the butterfly bead as well. I think that's a really pretty color. So we've got lots of beads to play with. I usually don't have this many choices, and it's neat. It's fun to have this many choices. All right. So do you guys think we should keep to a pattern or just go random? That's kind of the joy of memory wire. You can keep to a pattern, or you can just, go for it and go completely random. And then what you do is you shimmy them on down. So you kind of extend it out and then you shimmy, and they'll start to work their way down to the bottom. And then you can push them down to the bottom later too. All right, so where did we leave off? We left off with a hex bead. I'm kind of feeling like going a little bit random on here and just seeing what happens. So then let's do this pretty bead, And here, and let's do some more butterflies. And let's maybe try the smaller butterfly. Lori's saying random, Oma's saying pattern. All right, let's see. Let's start with random and just see what we end up with, but maybe there'll be consistency in our random pattern. Like I think that we'll always have this be a cluster of these 3 beads. So it'll be random, but there's still gonna be some essence of a pattern in there too. So here was that smaller butterfly bead combo of the 3 there. And you can make it a lot longer too. You can do an entire memory wire bracelet in butterfly beads, which would be pretty neat. Maybe we actually put 5 on there. Let's see what it looks like to have them a little bit longer. All right. So what would it look like to have 5? So there is that cool kind of crisscross locking effect right there. I like it with the 5. I think that's really neat for the smaller ones. And then let me surround it with my little 11-0. And then let's do this. Yeah, I'm liking the random too. It's very freeing, but we did want to do this as a pattern. So we'll do the green, the rondelle, and the turquoise. So the green, the purple, and the turquoise. So after you've got a few beads, shimmy them on down. And it does take a lot more shimmying, if that is a word, shimmying, when you don't pre-cut your memory wire. So if you do know you're not going to exceed maybe 6 rounds, you can definitely pre-cut your memory wire. And we've talked in previous live shows and live classes, keep your scraps because you never know what you can use them for. Oh, I like it. I like it random. It's going to be really eclectic and fun. All right, I think we're not going to go more than 6 rounds. So let's cut this just a little shorter so we can get all these beads on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the joy of memory wire. So I'm taking my memory wire cutters. So you don't want to use your regular cutters. It really will ding them. I've actually destroyed cutters before by trying to do them on memory wire. It creates like a little divot. So that's just something to be aware of. Okay, so here is an entire other bracelet length. So you can definitely make multiple stacking bracelets out of one coil of memory wire, but this will be a lot easier to get our beads down now. All right, and we just got all these pretty beads to choose from. So we're just gonna keep going. I do like the random as well, everyone. I think it's really fun. Okay, so I've got those little seed beads. Oh no, Oma, I'm so sorry. We were sure having tech problems before I went to Hawaii. I know Deb was having troubles and I was having troubles and we were getting so frustrated. So hopefully the gremlin's not still there. Here we go. You can see that little sequence. And then there. It is just fun to do this. It's really fun to just add beads to memory wire. And even though we are doing random, I am going to kind of check in every couple sequences and just see how we look and if we like what we're seeing, and then keep going from there. Okay, so this is going to come on down. So the size of the small butterfly is, where'd it go? It is 3 by 4. So right there, it is 3 millimeters by 4 millimeters. And then the size of the large ones are, let me find a tube that I can read it. Oh my goodness, 4 by, I believe that says 6, but I'm gonna I think it's 4 by 6. I'm going to let Thaisa and Michelle verify that because the typing is really tiny. Oh, hello, Pat. Yeah, they're really cool looking. I like them a lot. All right, let's keep going. We're just putting on our beads here. All right, and then here. And I think it's time for another sequence of these pretty little ones here. So let's do 5 again so we get that locking. Oh, thank you, Daisy. 4 by 6 and 3 by 4. So the smaller ones are 3 by 4, which is the one that I'm using right now. This is the small size. And then we also have the larger. And they come in a ton of colors too. That was a nice surprise as well. Really good colors. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shimmy them on down, and they look really pretty with that copper. And I don't make enough copper jewelry because every time I make it, I'm always like, why don't I make more? All right, we've almost got a full round, and you can see how this is looking. So here's those large butterfly beads. We got some rounds and the rondelles, a little assorted seed beads, and then you've got this cluster of the butterflies. So I am doing a bit of a pattern in that I'm doing the larger of the Apollo Gold and the smaller of the chalk amethyst. And Lori, I think my favorite is the chalk amethyst. I think this is my favorite color of the butterflies. I just think it's a really, really good purple. And then I am doing the same sequence here of the green bead, the rondelle in purple, and then the teal bead. So there is a little bit of pattern, but I am mixing up what order I put the seed beads and the hex beads and the demi rounds. I do too, Jane. The purple with the copper is so pretty. All right, so we're gonna keep on. So what did I leave off on? I left off on that. All right, so I need to do another little 11-0. And then I just do whatever I want with the seed bead assortment, which is very freeing. And here, and then let's do a green, a purple, and a teal. Oh, hello, Andy. Oh, that's a good way to be distracted beading, though. That's wonderful. I love that. I was going through some of my stash the other day, and I was like, oh, I want to start working with some of these pieces. I don't know about everyone else, but I always have my favorites in a certain like special tin. I always save like my cookie tins. And so I put my favorite beads in those, and then I kind of go back and I look at them and I think, what am I going to do with them? And those are the beads that inspire me the most. All right, so we got another little sequence here. It's funny. I was like, I was going to do 100% random, but my brain is one of those that is like, it struggles doing 100% random. It needed some order. Okay, let's look. All right, we're going to swirl them on down. And we can see that we have made, I think, a full rotation now. Yep, we have passed the midway point. And so I'm actually really kind of scooching these down pretty tightly so that I can see that interlocking effect of the butterfly beads. So here is what we've got thus far for our pattern. And I think we should just keep going. I think that this is looking really pretty. And it's that nice mix of sparkle and matte. So the color of purple that I really like is Luster Metallic Amethyst Chalk. I don't quite understand the chalk component to it. That's always thrown me a little bit as a jewelry maker, but Luster Metallic Amethyst Chalk. So that's my favorite of the purple colors. There is also a really pretty transparent, luster transparent amethyst, and that's what this middle one looks like done up. So if you see that middle one, if you want a little bit more of a shine to it, you want a little bit more sparkle, then that one's a good one. But it looks really pretty paired with the two purples paired together is really pretty. All right, and we're gonna keep on beading. I'm kind of looking at where I'm at and where I started and left off here. Oh, thank you, Lori. All right. And then let's do the little one again, because I think we did the bigger butterflies last. I have a harder time doing random than patterns, for sure. I feel like I have to look more closely at it. I have to pay more attention to like, what have I done recently? Just so that it doesn't end up like heavy on one side with larger beads and then all smaller beads on the other side, even if it's random. Oh, did I mean to do 2 green rounds? No, I did not. You are absolutely right. Good catch. Let's take that off because that might come back to haunt us at the end if we run out of beads, if we have an extra green there. Okay, so if you need to remove it, all you do is you pull it straight off, which is nice. No need to rethread a needle or anything like that. Good catch. All right, and then where did we leave off? Okay, here we go. All right, now we could put on our little butterflies. Oh, you like the 2 greens? Yeah, you could definitely do that. Well, that would be pretty too. You could do sequences of 2 greens with that little rondelle between them. You could do 2 blues with the rondelle. So many different things you could do. And, you know, you can make a memory wire bracelet that's only 2 or 3 coils long, which is nice because then you can make multiple bracelets using your same beads, which is always kind of nice when you can do that. Okay, and then let's go here. Just gonna keep adding. I want to make this nice and full. All right, and then we need the green and the purple and the teal. And I haven't used these demi-rounds very much, but that size 6 demi-round is actually a very handy size as a pretty element in something like this. It's a little bit of a different shape. All right, and then let's do this. And I think we're ready for our bigger butterfly beads again. So I'm only doing a cluster of 3 of the bigger butterflies, and then I'm doing a cluster of 5 of the smaller butterflies, just for a little variety. Oh, I like that, Lori. That's fun. They are fun on here. They're a fun bead to work with for sure. There's just a little something different. I sure had fun stringing them too, though. That was a nice, fun and easy project, and I think it looks really cool too. All right. Oh, great question. So you know what? I have seen different thicknesses of memory wire on the market. I'm pretty sure Art Beads carries just the one thickness, which I believe is a 21 or 22 gauge. I know Michelle or Thaisa can verify that for me. And that does work with the little 11-0 seed beads. I have not been able to get a 15-0 on, but you will definitely want to make sure you're using a round memory wire if you're trying to get seed beads on it, and not a flat memory wire, because this is definitely much thicker and you're gonna not be able to get that many variety of beads on here. They'd have to be large hole beads. So definitely look that you're trying to get a round memory wire. The round memory wire is 22 gauge. Okay, thank you, Michelle. I knew it was 21 or 22, so I appreciate you verifying that. So that will easily get little seed beads on. So if you're using a 22 gauge, you can easily get your little 11-0s on there, just fine. Okay, where did I leave off? Okay. Oh, okay, that's very helpful. Okay, good comment, Judy. I will try to do that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then we're gonna do another little sequence of the purples. All right. Yeah, and Valerie's saying my favorite gauge is 21-22. Yeah, I would definitely always check the listing. I think this question came up a couple weeks ago, and there was some memory wire that was purchased from a different company, and it was a different gauge, and it was really hard to work with. So just always double check the listing if you can. And then if it doesn't say it, maybe email customer service just to verify, because it is not every bit of memory wire is identical, for sure. There's ones that are easier to work with and ones that are harder to work with. Okay. What beads would I like to use for flat memory wire? I tend to wire wrap flat memory wire. I love wire wrapping it. So what's nice about flat memory wire, like you can use it, you can cut it. Here, let me show you. Here, you cut it with your same memory wire cutters. Okay, so you cut off a bit, however long you want. You can also use your same finishing pliers for it. Let's just do this with the larger loop. Okay, so you can finish it the same way. Okay, so making that quite the large little round. So what you can do is you can take then your regular craft wire, so not memory wire, but your regular like wire wrapping wire. We're just going to do a little sample here. So what's nice is the flat memory wire has a flat top surface. So what that does is it kind of stabilizes your beads so they're not slipping around. So you can do a couple loops, and you would imagine this is like a whole bracelet here. So you would be weaving your wire in and out of the center of the bracelet. But here is a way you anchor your wire on, and I would tidy up that loop. I just was kind of doing it quickly here, but I would tidy up that loop, and then you can just add whatever beads you want. You can add, like this is a 8/0 seed bead. You just let it fall down, and then what you do is you kind of hold it in place, and you can wrap around and back up. And then do you see how it's actually sitting on top of the wire, which is the advantage of having that flat memory wire. So you could just keep adding whatever beads you like. You can do gemstones, you can do seed beads, you can do really anything you want to do with these. So that's kind of a fun little technique there for the flat memory wire, but it really does help to stabilize them so they don't slip around. And like if you do this on memory wire, they can slip, so you can end up almost with like a spiral, which can actually be pretty neat, but it's a lot easier to keep these anchored on the flat memory wire. All right, I'm gonna now keep on looking here. Okay, so now we're going to keep going here. I'm loving reading it. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going. And then what do we need? So now we need the larger butterfly beads again. And I am going to use that little 11/0 as my anchor point. Oh, Lori, I agree. It would be really pretty to use like contrasting metals to do a gold on a silver or a silver wire on a gold memory wire. All right. And we're just going to keep on going down and see where we're at. I kind of like to check my work as I go. And here is where we're at with this. So we've made 2 rounds at this point. And you can see how they're lining up with that kind of random, but also not random pattern. And we've done 2 rounds, but it is kind of fun to have these little clusters in here. We're mixing up the beads. The seed beads are kind of always a different little pattern here. And we are gonna just go a little bit more, but you can make it full. If you wanted to do this, you could definitely fill this out to be like a 6 rotation. I'm gonna try for 3. I wanna see what it looks like with 3 rounds. But definitely you can make it larger. Oh, hello, Rhett. Oh, and that's good to hear, Valerie. Okay, so here we go. And I think I left off on the larger butterflies. Okay, so I'm trying to keep track of that at least, so that I am, there's a little bit of a pattern happening. So memory wire bracelets are also great for like your bead soup mixes. If you have leftover beads from projects, they're a great use for them. So if you keep them in like a little mason jar or something, They're really good for that. It gives good variety. I definitely have bags of beads that aren't quite enough for a full project, but I'll go kind of raid that stash for my memory wire bracelets. All right, we're gonna keep going. And again, I apologize. I know my voice is a little bit off. It just seems the way when you travel. Always come home with a little something. Oh, and then I'm planning Saturday's show, the Saturday morning cartoons, and I am going to do that bracelet design technique where you go from 2 strands into a single strand on the same bracelet. We talked about that a couple weeks ago when we were looking at the orchid aqua colors. So we are going to focus on that technique. We'll make a bracelet doing that double strand to single strand technique on Saturday. I thought that would be really a fun one to play with on Valentine's Day. So I will be here on Valentine's Day having fun playing. Yes, a vacation memento is right. Absolutely. Yeah, I know we really wanted to explore that technique more. So I thought we could do a whole show dedicated to it because there is a little bit of strategy involved of like balancing out your beads so that they sit right and they don't like crowd each other. So I think it'll be a really good one to have time to fully explore. All right, and that will be Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's our cartoon time, our Saturday morning cartoons. All right, I'm going to keep going here. And then, the sun's coming out just a little bit here. It has been so dark. All right, so let's see where we're at. We've got a few more, I think, to do, and then we're going to finish this one off. Okay, let's do a couple more and then I'll see where we're at. Uh-oh. Oh no, Rhett, you lost internet. Okay, I'm glad you're back. So how's everyone doing with the weather? I know when we last chatted like a week ago, a lot of people were completely snowed in and it was cold. How's everyone doing with their weather now? Hopefully it's a bit better. And we're going to do 5 of these little guys. I think we're in for a snowstorm in our mountains coming up. All right, I'm going to see where we're at. No snow, just cold, says Michelle. Oh, yeah. I have visited you, Michelle, in February. It is cold, for sure. All right, so here is what it's looking like with the triple strand effect, and it's kind of neat. It's almost creating a diagonal here. Sunny in Virginia Beach, I love it. Sunny in 70s, they're in Texas. That's nice, Tracy. That's really nice. Okay, just a few more, and then we're gonna finish this guy off. And then I think we should make a quick pair of earrings to go with it. A heat wave of 40 today in Rhode Island. Oh my, Monica. Ah. Okay, and then what did I leave off on? I left off on the butterflies, so now it's another one of these guys. And these little 6 millimeters are sliding so easily onto the memory wire. It's like really good size. Okay. Here we go. All right, so where are we at? We just need a little bit more, but this is how it is looking thus far. All those really pretty colors together with that little bit of metallic. I think that works really well. I do think the butterfly beads come in silver and gold as well. So that might be something to play with too. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear this. My husband's trying to sneak out. We have the creakiest floorboards ever. Yeah, Monica, so we have friends who are in Rhode Island, and they were telling us it's never cold. It doesn't snow. And then this big snowstorm hit like a couple days later. And they're like, I swear, it's usually not this bad. So I know what you mean. Well, it's like here in Los Angeles. We don't usually get this cold. Like it's going to be, I think, a high of 49. Like next Wednesday, it's never a high in the 40s. That's unheard of for here. So we're definitely going to be getting a cold snap. Oh, thank you, Pat. So the butterfly beads that, these ones are kind of transparent. The ones that are the Apollo Gold, they have like a metallic solid finish on one side and they're a bit transparent on the other side. Yeah, my husband's going to be in Rhode Island at the end of next month visiting one of our friends. So that'll be fun. He's going to go explore, have fun checking out Rhode Island. All right, so I'm going to do just one more sequence of the small butterfly beads, and then I'm going to finish this off at 3 loops. But you, of course, can make this a lot bigger, or a lot more loops, I should say. All right, so let's go ahead and do our little seed bead. And then I might have to pop out a few more of these guys, but you do get a really big tube, so I'm not worried that I'd run out. Now, if anyone makes a full butterfly bead memory wire bracelet, would they please post it to our Facebook group? It's Serious Art Beaders, and it would be really neat to see how that looks. I think it would look really cool. So if anyone does that, please post it to our group. I think we would all love to see it. Do you stop the bracelet at the even area of the beginning? Oh, good question, Tracy. Okay, so where I tend to stop it is where it starts. So I'm kind of paying attention to right here. This was my starting point. And then I'm going to stop it at about the same line right here. And that's just me. If you do put dangles on it, it means you'll have a dangle here and a dangle here. I think you would be fine if you wanted to start it on one end and end it on the other, and then have maybe a dangle here and a dangle here. Is really just a personal preference. What I do tend to do though is I end it on a smaller bead. So I started it on a hex bead, and I'm going to end it on either a hex or a smaller bead. I don't, for some reason, like to end my memory wire bracelets on bigger beads. I don't know. I think that's just me. And, you know, everyone does things differently, and that's the joy of jewelry making, is there's really no right or wrong. But I tend to end it on a little smaller bead. So maybe I'll put a hex bead right next to that little guy, and then I'm going to turn my end. And this will be our last bead. All right, so like I had said at the beginning of this project, because of how these butterfly beads interlock, I'm gonna pay even closer attention that all my beads are scooted down. So here, I don't want these like this. You see, I don't want them to have gaps between them, because then they're not gonna lock into place. So I'm gonna really push this down and hold it like this, and just check my work. Check that all of these are locked together at each sequence. And it does appear that they are. All right, so now I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna take those memory wire cutters again, which have picked up a little hitchhiker, which they tend to do with the magnetic clasps. Oh, thank you, Linda. The beads kind of led the way with this one. I just loved these colors so much. All right, so I like to cut it kind of between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch. Everyone does their loop sizes a little bit different. So it's whatever works with the size of loop that you're going to make. Cut it. And then this is plenty for another bracelet. So don't get rid of that. I'll use the finishing pliers, but you can use round nose or chain nose. And we're gonna rotate it. And in this case, because I want to keep this really, really tight, I don't want that gap there. So I'm going to keep rotating it until my wire pushes against my bead. Okay, so you see how I went even a little further than I normally would? And that was just so that I didn't have any wiggle room in here. Ooh, a bead stopper for memory wire. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I've never tried that. Okay, here is our finished bracelet with those yummy, yummy colors and that warm copper. And then, of course, you can make this many, many more coils if you wanted to. You could put dangles or charms or like a letter charm on it to personalize it. And then I feel like we just got to make a quick little earring because how can we not? So let's do it right now. Let's try. All right, we're just going to put onto a head pin our same sequence that we did before. So this is just going to be our little dangle. And I'm tempted to see if we can add some butterfly beads onto this. Should we give, so that's a cute little dangle right there. And it could be a very small little earring, but... So these are memory wire finishing pliers. So they're out of stock right now, but we're getting more in. But they're really neat. And then I'm going to take my wire looping pliers, and I'm going to just go like this, push down, rotate up, crisscross, and then I will take my chain nose, hold on to it, do a couple little wraps, and then I want to see if I can make a dangle. So now I'm going to go back to using my regular jewelry making pliers to cut this wire. And push that in. So I cracked my bead. So this is good to show what not to do. So what I was doing was I was pushing that little rough end in, and I cracked my glass bead, because these are all glass beads. These are not plastic. So that's just something to be aware of. We're just going to go with it. It'll be okay. But that's something to be aware of. When you are pushing in your end, you can crack your beads. So be careful about that. So that happened. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make another dangle using the butterfly beads and just see what it looks like. Since I don't have an eye pin, I'm going to make one. So I'm going to cut the head off my head pin. I am going to go make a little simple loop. Bend it back. So now I have an eye pin. I know, Francie. Oh my gosh. I think it was a crimped project that I did it on before. I think I accidentally cracked a bead while I was crimping. It happens. Thankfully, it's an easy, like, little piece of jewelry. It wasn't a super long design. All right, so I combined here the small and the large butterfly beads of that chalk amethyst, and I'm going to make a little dangle with them, or a little connector, I should say. And then I'll just make a little simple loop. All right, so in this case, again, I don't want movement. So even though I started with a simple loop on one side, oh, you know what? Yeah, I forgot my bead. I think cracking that bead threw me off just a little bit. So you would probably put another seed bead right there. I used my wire wrapping technique to trap my guys, but you could definitely put another little seed bead right there. And then let's open, then we're going to remake this because I can't leave it like that. So let's go ahead and remake this one real quick because we have the supplies and we have the time. So you might as well make it how it needs to be. All right, and then I'll be very careful this time not to crack that bead. All right, so there is our sequence again. Okay, here we go. All right. And then we're going to be really careful. We're going to remember that these are glass. That blew me away when I first started making jewelry, that all of these beads are glass. All right, and then I'm gonna really carefully tuck that in. There we go, I'm gonna be real gentle. All right, so here is this part of it. And then let's open up the bottom. Where are you? There you are. Okay, and we've made a little dangly earring to match our memory wire bracelet. So all we have to do is put the earring hook on now. And close it on up, and we're done. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, that was one of my favorite purchases of last year. That was a surprise from the hubby, was our chiming clock. It actually is like a little animated clock, so it has cute little graphics every day. Okay, so here is our little earring right here, and here is our finished copper memory wire bracelet with the green and the teal and the purple and the coppers. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera up so we can say goodbye for today, but I'll be back on Saturday. I'm back from vacation. All right. Oh, thank you, hearts, guys. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully the sniffles will be gone by Saturday, but if not, we'll still have fun and we'll make that bracelet. Thank you for helping Michelle and Thaisa, and thank you everybody for joining me, and thank you for watching the pre-records when I was in Hawaii. It was really nice to celebrate with the family. All right, bye Linda, Lori, Kathleen. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on Valentine's Day.